The love of your life texted you after 2 years. What was this person in jail or?
Okay. Hi guys.
Oh yeah, no.
Hi guys. I'm your host Lolamu.
Lola.
I said there's a reason I don't start the show. There's a reason I don't start the show. Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah.
We're going to
Take
actually
two.
take
Three.
2. Hi guys. Oh, they don't laugh.
Okay, sorry.
laugh.
Take 4.
Oh. Hi guys, welcome back to Site A. I'm your host Lola, and this is Oinda.
I'm your other host, Oinda, aka Big O. Welcome back, guys.
Her laughing
It's season 2.
actually so terrible because I'm trying to kick off the show on a serious note.
Lola said she doesn't like the way I kick off the show.
I did not say that I know like
she said I should stop saying I'm one half of your host.
No,
But I am.
one half. You don't always say I'm one half of your host.
Hosts. Because there's 2, so I'm one half, you're the other half.
Okay. Yes. So good.
But then when it gets to you, you don't have to say I'm the other half. You can just say I'm Lola. Your other
I want to
host.
stress it though. Take 4.
Welcome back, guys. Season 2 vibes. Season 2
next
vibes. Next week what?
I want to stress it.
Okay. Next week. Well, you kind of did start it this time.
I kind of did start it, but like it'll be better next week.
It'll be
what
better
I'm saying.
next
Like
week.
revise.
Okay.
Anyways, welcome back, guys. Season
Pew, pew,
2.
pew, pew.
We love the number 2. That's actually my angel number, actually, and my favorite number in the whole world.
I actually don't have a favorite number.
Oh,
At a point, I thought it was 4, and then I thought it was 7, but like none of them are really like resonating with me. You know what I mean? I feel like your favorite number has been 2 for a very long time.
2s and 9s and 8s.
Oh, I didn't know about 9s.
Since I was like in year 5, I think. Or so.
I don't know. I don't think I like numbers.
I'm a male.
I was
fair
gonna do
enough.
444 tattooed on me at some points, but then I was
But
like,
then if you like,
if I'm not really like, I liked it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I can latch onto this one, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, guys, welcome back to season 2. Back like we never left. It's actually like we never left.
we didn't.
We kind of did though.
We left
just for a little bit.
It's been about 4 weeks since our last episode.
No, it's the end of February right now. First of all, what is the 29th of February called?
A leap year.
Yeah, but there's a name for the day, no?
A leap day.
It's not a leap day. Is it a leap day? There's a name. Today is a special day. That's why we're dropping a Thursday episode instead of a Wednesday episode, because it's going to be another 4 years before there's another February 29th.
We love
So it's the last day.
We might as well
February.
be special. We just have main character syndrome, and honestly,
It was you that was like, oh, this. I'm like, okay, cool.
okay, so I just really have main character
It was you. Only we.
I just like the sound of like the day just being like, oh, this is not gonna happen again, but we get to drop this episode today. It's like, you know, I think that's really special, and for us to kick off the season on a special note seemed like
I feel
key.
you. I genuinely feel like there's a name for the day. Like, if you're an astrology girl, please drop the name below. I know you guys know the name.
Wait, Alexa, what is February 29th called?
February 29th is called a leap day. It only occurs on 4 years and falls on a Thursday.
There's a more astrological name for it. I know what I'm saying. I'm gonna Google it. You know what? If there actually is, I'll put it on the screen, because at some point I'm gonna find out. But yeah. It's a special day. What I was trying to say is it's the last day of February, and our last episode of season 1 dropped at the end of December. So it's been a solid 2 months.
Wow, actually true.
Been so long.
Can we get okay? No, it's hummed. Wait, I doing something.
Yeah,
yeah.
Don't kill me.
You know
you're always the one that's like on edge about copyright.
No,
And I'm
because
like,
these
who is
people
looking
don't
for
play.
us?
No. Even if they're not looking for us, these people actually don't play. I actually saw someone who found like this underground rapper, and they used just a bit of a sample they were not supposed to use, and they got sued like crazy, and he had to end his career. So it's like, guy, like.
Why would he have to end his career?
I mean, he had to pay the money. So, I don't think he ended his career, but to me, he had to end his career.
He wanted to give up at that point because
it's like, I don't know.
For real.
Yeah, but these licensing companies, they don't play.
YouTube doesn't play for sure.
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't play
They're
for sure.
gonna get us
but
out of here.
They can't, first of all, we're actually not monetized. Not yet.
You guys
Which
should
is why you
change
guys should
that.
subscribe.
You guys should subscribe. Like,
subscribe.
what?
That was such a good segue. You people should subscribe. Subscribe to the channel.
Let's once even starts with this. As you are right here right now, go subscribe. Go like the video.
Because we always wait till the end to be like, oh, subscribe.
End. No, but like top of the morning here, like literally subscribe, like the video, go follow our socials, go check out our event that we threw last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the video right before this is going to be the recap video, so that you guys that didn't come can experience a little bit of FOMO, but look out for the next one. Yeah. And that actually takes me
that was my segue. That's why that wasn't my side A, but that was my segue.
Oh, that was my side A.
Okay, cute. That's your side A. Go ahead, girl. What's your side A this week?
First side A of the year. What's on side A for me is side A live still. Because at this point,
it's been a week.
Was only like a week ago.
It was a week. It was. It's gonna be a week tomorrow.
I feel like I never actually rode the high of the fact that like we mounted a stage and like hosted an event and like we're holding microphone in front of people.
I've never done that before.
I feel like I haven't done that before
you have
either.
Though.
It's different.
Yeah,
it wasn't
like not
my
that
show.
Way. Yeah, not in that way. I wouldn't say you've done it that way. Though.
It wasn't my show. I was like, I think I was deeping it the other night, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we climbed a stage and we sat in front of people and we're just talking, just doing and people were listening and they were laughing and kicking with us like. And
afterwards said that we did great. Oh wow,
that was really the shocking one. It's not shocking. Don't say that.
It's not shocking. It's actually amazing. It's really amazing. And
it was expected. We're always gonna do great. We're always gonna give a great show.
Period.
Yeah,
because we have to.
The reason that's on side A for me though, aside the event going so fantastic, special thank you to our team, Simi, Ash, Ade, who literally flew in from Toronto.
My heart.
You guys just held us down. Special thanks to Sleepwalk as well. But the reason it's on side A for me specifically is that I feel like, and I was talking about this with someone else, I feel like, especially when it comes to this like podcasting space or like just in general, like content creation, I feel like people hold themselves to a specific standard, like, oh, you do this thing when you've blown to this specific like, level or whatever, so like you have to be whatever in order to like
you have to have these many like followers, you have to have these many like optics and like metrics like already sorted out.
At a point I too was kind of thinking about it, like, damn, like we're selling tickets, are we gonna pull enough of a crowd? Is it gonna be this, is it gonna be that? But like if there was anything that just like really just proved me wrong in every way, or at least proved me right in what I knew deep down was true.
Like
where
what could happen.
Where our whole thing is like we want to build a community. I don't think that there's any specific like number or metrics or whatever that you can tie to that. And that was very apparent because we sold out the venue. People were literally standing. Like I was looking in the back
in the room,
people
and I
was standing in the room. I'm like, damn, bitch. It was a packed house, so thank you guys for coming.
Thank you guys so much. Like that was honestly so just like assuring and like beautiful, to be honest. Like I personally have never done anything on stage, like except for graduates, like on a stage.
You didn't do plays in secondary school?
No, that was not my avenue. I was in the photography club. I'm behind the scenes girly. Like I'd be doing like the other things, but like to be on stage like in front of people,
being
like you guys, you did like ASA and all those like types of things where it's like you have to do like a thing in front of like a crowd.
Tiny practices here and there.
No, like the one time I tried to do something in front of a crowd in like high school, I had like I really cried like after, like I had a breakdown, and it was because I had to sing on stage too, so it was just like not like
I had to sing on stage for years and years and years. if you went to Fountainhead Secondary School, you know the choir was a cult.
LMU. I was in choir, but this one wasn't even choir. They just came to call a bunch of like people in our year, and I think in our year, like girls who could sing, like just
not who could sing.
no, we could sing, like we can sing, but it's like nobody is really out here like no one's really belting like that. It's just somebody be like, sing this thing for me, sing anything you want to sing, and like my go-to was always like 1,000 Years, and it's like because I know how to sing 1,000 Years really well,
like from Twilight.
Yeah,
fair.
Yes. So they were like, oh my god, yeah, so you have to like do the song later, da da da. So we had to like rehearse and stuff. And like,
what event was this for?
Oh my god, I actually don't even remember. It was like our drama teacher that like
they didn't even give you a song.
No, they gave us a song and then we had to rehearse the song. But I don't even remember what the song was. So much so that I was so nervous that I kind of like blacked out. And like what I remember is rehearsing and then crying soon after. But what I'm saying is that, back to what I was saying. What I'm saying is that I've just never successfully done something on stage before. And like the fact that there were just no nerves there, like once I got on,
as soon as we got on stage, I was like,
just no nerves there.
Okay,
like it was so fun and just like really a key in a room of people, you know. And it was really like lovely to just like look in the crowd and just like see loved ones and see people like who really like love us and care about us, and like even people who like we don't even know. Like it's just like actual like care in the room. So it's like it was gorgeous. It was beautiful.
Shout out to Onome. Your besties came to the show and they found me after the show to tell me that you put them onto the show.
Shout out Onome.
So shout out to you, sweetie. Thank you for that. What's on side A for you?
You know something I remember.
You haven't thought about your side A?
No. I actually had one, and then I went on this tangent of talking about this other thing, and now I'm like, oh my god, what even is? What
was it? Was it music related? Because I feel like I haven't listened to any new music at all.
Okay, I've listened to new music, but it wasn't music related. What's on side A for me actually is, I don't know.
Side A Live.
I think it's Saturday Live, honestly, because like,
we haven't had time to think about anything else.
I haven't had a moment to even like live outside of that. Like again, it's been just like about a week now, so it's just
we've been
like
planning it since
the season ended,
the beginning of the year. So
as soon as we recorded our last episode, we literally talked about it and then started like pouring all our time into it, you know. So I think. But that's such a lame idea. I don't want to have the same idea as you though.
It seems to be your side A.
I think what's on side A for me is red lipstick. Look at Winda's red lipstick, everybody.
You made that up.
Let's give her a round of applause. That's all. Like
we have a live studio audience today, and like
studio audience, and it's so funny. Like wow. Anyways. Speaking of side A Live, our side B this week is actually you guys' side A's. Winda.
That was so cute. that was really
but
cute.
But now it's not cute anymore because you just went ahead.
No. I was just like, and you were like, you guys' side A's. It was really cute. As Lolo said. So basically what happened was at Side A Live, we read a lot of you guys' dilemmas on stage, but we couldn't get through all of them because it was a lot. You guys were really getting some shit off your chests.
I was so excited about that as well. Because I honestly thought we were going to get like a few.
No, there was so much to get through.
Like,
this isn't even, because
this is
we sifted out the ridiculous ones. And those are still somewhere else, but we have some here for you guys today. We asked the audience, and we said, would you guys like us to read your dilemmas on the first episode?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, yes, absolutely. And so now here we are. That's not what they said, but you know.
No, that is actually exactly.
Oh my god! Even when they were like, "Oh, encore," they were like, "Oh, do one more." I was like,
yes,
so cute.
Love it.
Okay, so we're gonna read. It's still the month.
We're gonna stop fawning over the show, but like, actually, no, we're not gonna stop fawning over the show. Our whole premiere episode is about Side A.
It's about Side A Live, and it should be because it's mostly about you guys as well because you guys showed up. But so we're gonna do you guys' dilemmas and give you guys some.
She keeps like
Because nothing is happening. I'm like, how do I shuffle it, child?
Mind you.
Do you want to pick the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This shit is dusty.
Ooh, this one's a long one.
It's long.
Love life. The love of my life texted me after 2 years saying I don't have time for romance. After accepting his insensitive ass and letting go, he claims I am the love of his life 4 months later. Wow. 4 months later after saying
Can I look at this?
Like, I don't have time for romance is so crazy.
The love, okay, love of my life is in quotes because I was about to be like, the love of your life texted you after 2 years. What was this person in jail or?
You know something? I feel like I think they were already together in that 2 years.
No.
And then one day texted, and then they said, "I don't have time for romance."
Oh, like they were together this whole time?
Yes, and then they one day just decided to be like, "I don't have time for romance."
Huh.
Which is crazy.
He claims I'm the love of his life 4 months later. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. So they were together for 2 years, and then he said, I don't have time for romance.
Yeah.
And so this person let it go. And now 4 months later, the person is saying that they're the love of
their life. Sounds like a topsy-turvy mess. Like, damn.
To be honest, right, if 2 years, after 2 years, someone says I don't have time for romance, it almost feels like that person is like battling some shit that they're not communicating about.
Yeah.
And while that's, I guess, valid to some extent, you shouldn't have to be the person that like has to pay for that.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there's a way to kind of, especially if you guys have been together for 2 years, I feel like there's a level of like, you know, just care that should go into it. It shouldn't even really be I don't have time for romance. It could just be like, oh, I can't give as much as I want to at this time because I'm going through and like what is it that's happening, you know, that's like, and you know, really get into like talking about those things. But honestly, I think a lot of people just have a lot of issues with communicating, especially communicating pain or like depressing feelings, or like especially in relationships. Honestly, I can relate to that a bit, where it's just a little conflicting dealing with depression while also being in love with someone. Yeah. But I think it's also BS for them to just randomly... Yeah, that's bullshit. Like, oh, I don't have time.
That's bullshit, and that's very unfair. Like, the same way that person would expect you to kind of respect their feelings and where they're coming from or whatever the case might be. They should also have enough respect for you to not say some callous shit like this.
Yeah, especially if it's like a thing that clearly they didn't mean, because 4 months later, they're now saying, oh, you're the love of their life, da-di-da.
I think what you do here is be open to communicating about it, because there's probably a lot of shit that has gone unsaid. Yeah. A lot of explaining that they need to do. So I think open the line of communication so that you guys can have like a real conversation about it. And then based on what this person says, how much vulnerability they're offering you, how honest they're actually being, you can then make like a more like educated decision.
Honestly. And I think in this case, like, because you also said that was the love of your life, in parentheses or not, so I think it's valid
if there's to, like, love there, then it's worth talking about.
To, like, talk about and like also like revisit like your own feelings and like I guess understand more of like what you want, so that you are able to then communicate what you want to that person.
I also think it'll be helpful if you guys do decide to like give it another shot, to like have like a very frank conversation, because then maybe there's boundaries that you guys hadn't set like initially, or maybe there's issues that you both had that you guys were not necessarily like talking about.
Being open about.
Or so like maybe this is a new chance. Yeah. Maybe. Otherwise, girl, that ain't it. Like, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, leave him.
I'm not gonna say leave him, and I'm not gonna say get back with him. I'm going to say have a conversation, and if that conversation leads into something good, and that something good could be you guys getting back together or not, whatever is good for you, I feel like that's exactly what you should do, is what I feel.
Okay, that was good advice. All right. Okay. I feel I'm too picky. I find something to hate about anybody. How do I relax? The couples in my life are dysfunctional, and the anxiety about repeating keeps me stuck. I get that. I think there's two things to tackle here. I'm not necessarily someone who believes in being too picky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being picky is a thing, but I don't think it's always a bad thing. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to kind of like know that you have certain standards or certain things that you want out of a person. And then when you deny yourself that in order to like, you know, find a partner or whatever, or like settle for somebody that maybe doesn't tick those boxes for you, it can breed resentment and be like, oh, but, and like maybe they end up, I feel like everybody has dealt with this type of thing where someone ends up like doing you dirty or like doing some shit. And then you're like, damn, like I would have never even gone for you anyway. You're batting yourself in the ass because you decided to like let your own kind of, I guess, standards or like requirements go. So that's one part of it where I'm like, okay, don't judge yourself for being picky because it's not always a negative thing.
I don't think it's a negative thing either. And like even just like reading this, because you're asking the question, how do I relax? And I like the extra context of like the couples that you've seen and like just kind of the relationship like complexes that you actually have experienced. And I think that goes into like why you are so picky.
And the anxiety.
You saw exactly what people were doing wrong, and it was like, okay, so I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. But then I think it could go a really long way for you to start like, I think stop making a list of the things that you don't like and start making of the things that you actually do like. And I think that will kind of open up your like, it will open up your heart and like kind of like clear up a little bit of the anxieties of being too picky. Because it's not too picky, you just know what you don't want. And like if you know what you don't want and then you do know what you want, then you're going after what you want rather than just like receiving people. You know? And then when you see that certain people have what you do want, you are more likely to then be slightly more empathetic into like the things that you might not particularly like, you know, but like not in a way that is like compromising of what you don't like, you know what I mean? I feel like there's a balance.
There's a balance for sure. I like what you said about like making a list of like what it is that you do like, because then you'll actually see, like if you make a list, like something you can actually visualize, I think it'll be reassuring for you because you'll read that list and be like, wait, I'm not asking for too much. And maybe you'll be like, oh, a lot of the things that I've listed are things that I possess as a person and maybe want to see reflected in someone else. And so in that case, it's like if I've been able to do all this work for myself and I've been able to have all these things, whatever those things are that are on your list, maybe if you don't have those things, it might be a question for like, okay, are you attracting the type of energy that you're expecting? You know what I mean? Are those things being reflected in your personality for people who also gravitate towards those types of characters to like kind of come to you? You know what I mean? So I feel like it would be a helpful exercise for you as well as the way that you're able to like present out in the world. But also it's like, it's fair when you see, I think we're only human, and it's like, for instance, people who grow
like
people who grow up in like who grow up in like maybe families where the parents were divorced or whatever the case might be, and then grow up with this kind of mindset that's not necessarily marriage focused or whatever. You can't necessarily say that they're wrong or that they're being too judgmental or whatever, because we are a product of our environment in like really, really big ways, especially as we get into adulthood. So don't judge yourself too much, and like maybe you're just not in the position to receive anybody at the moment, and like I don't know, it'll be fine.
And honestly, as like in the same breath, start giving more people more grace, because it says you find something to hate about anybody. Anybody is like is really
it's pushing. A little
it's really pushing. I feel like if you go into a conversation or you go into a relationship finding something to hate, you will find something to hate, because human beings are very flawed, very disappointing sometimes. So like ideals that we make up like of what we want in a person don't necessarily like take us as far as like we probably could, you know? So it's like, honestly, but like make that list of the things that you actually do want and do like, and I do think it would make
Yeah,
it,
I think
like,
that's the biggest.
I think it would make it so much easier for sure.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's definitely the most important thing. Oh yeah, your turn.
Me trying to like
Girl.
finagle it around. Okay, side A for this person was finding a good ass paying job. Girl, you and me.
You and me both as well, cause
You and
child.
me. That emphasis on good ass paying. Yeah. Need that. The industries, the economy, please. Everybody's begging you guys, like, all the old people, you guys should actually go home. Retire. Old people
The
are not
problem is
retiring.
that they cannot retire. They don't have
They don't have
anything to
any-
fall
yeah.
back on. Like
Anyways.
the dream they were sold is not there at the end of the gates. We do have an episode where we talk about this at length though, so I'll put that up here for you to go watch.
It's just,
Yeah.
girl, me too, is all I have to say. And the other half says, in a happy relationship, exclamation point. But sex typically like 2, maybe 3 times a week. Ooh. Is that too little? I don't think so. I don't think so too, girl.
I don't think so.
You're strong.
And if you don't think
girl.
so, then
If you don't
what's the
think so,
problem?
then what's happening?
Like, what's the problem? First of
I think
all,
you're
let me
good.
tell you, I don't know the other couples you know, or I don't know how far in the other couples you know are in,
Yeah.
but 2 to 3 times a week seems pretty solid to me.
That's healthy. That's super healthy.
Yeah.
Because that 2 to 3 times a week, I can envision that you're probably having, like, in those 2 to 3 times, you're probably having more sex in those days
Yeah.
than just having sex all through the week or anything.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
also like it's possible that both your lives are kind of you have things going on, but even regardless of any of these things, this is actually a pretty solid number. It's
2 to
quite
3 times
solid,
a
yeah.
week is so
Do not
solid,
convince
like,
yourself
please.
that other couples are doing more or that there's anything wrong with your relationship. From the way that you described it, like you are in a very happy relationship, you're very content.
Literally.
You don't have a problem with the amount of
It
sex
says
that you
in a
guys are
happy-
having.
In a happy relationship,
Exclamation points. Do not
So,
gaslight yourself into thinking
please,
that you're
live
not doing
live your
something.
life,
Yeah.
live your life, and
Don't do it. Don't do it.
and don't feel
Don't
like
do
you
it.
have to increase it because
Yeah.
of like, oh, the regular, oh, you should be having this, you should be doing this, and no, like once you get into a certain point of your relationship, honestly, like sex, even as important as it is, starts to become like just slightly like less frequent. You know what I mean? Just because that's just how it.
That's just how it is.
That's how it goes.
Also, I think that when something like sexual intimacy starts to dwindle, I think it's not always a bad thing depending on how you handle it. If you guys are consistently like communicating about it and it's not necessarily like an issue that either of you is holding on to, whether it's just that you're busy or maybe someone is not in, that's just not the space that I'm at right now. I know for me specifically, it really depends on like my mental health and stuff like that. So
I'm on medication. So, and my medication also affects like things like libido and stuff. So it's like being in the mood becomes really like crucial. It's like sexual intimacy and just sex in itself is a very intentional thing. And I think the more time you spend like not doing it, the more you can actually define what you want from it, is what I think. For sure.
It just sounds like you have a good thing going on right now. So don't even sweat it. You're doing great. I hope that you guys continue to do great. And if anything happens, I think actually the person that you should be asking this question is your partner. Ask the person and just say like, hey, does this feel good for you? Like, are we both satisfied? Is there anything that we should be doing differently? Checking in, whatever the case might be. And like, that's really the only person you owe an explanation. Everybody else's opinion, fuck that. All right? You're good. All right.
I really like how she wrote her message. Top and bottom.
Top and bottom, yeah. And it was like this way and then this way. Okay. I'm dating this amazing person, but I feel like I don't have this ability to create the foundation a good relationship needs. But I don't want to lose them.
Aw, I feel
Are you me?
Are you me, actually? Especially when you have a partner that is just slightly stabler than you, you know, just like has their foot on the ground a little more, like firmer on the ground. They can be a little like, you know, a little ego shaking is what I want to say. Like ego shaking, even though like ego has no place in a relationship, which is where it like you have to come to yourself and be like you're good enough to be with someone. It's a thing of you probably not thinking, oh, you're good enough, because stability is really feeling good. It is feeling good. It's like you feel good in where you're at in life. So when you don't have that stability, it can sometimes be like, oh, I don't feel good enough for this person in my life, or I don't feel good enough to be receiving this type of love, which is something I told myself for a really long time.
Because it's also like, do I feel good enough for myself at the moment? Yeah.
And sometimes, even if you don't feel good enough for yourself, if you are dating someone and you do find a certain level of happiness with that person, and that person is finding their own happiness within you as well, I don't think the state of where you are should particularly like shake that's like love. I think you just need to like, you know, up yourself a bit. It's like that foundation that you want to build, be more intentional about the foundation itself. Like be like, okay, even if I can't do this, I can do this. If I can't do this, I can do this, you know?
Yeah.
And like what feels stable for that relationship and building that relationship.
Yeah.
You know, at its core.
It also depends on what you mean by stability, right? Because sometimes you might have stability in terms of like your physical environment, but like maybe like mentally, emotionally, you don't feel as stable.
Yeah.
I think also we judge ourselves before our partners are able to judge us. And so there's certain things that you might be projecting onto yourself because you feel like you could be doing better or you could be in a different spot or whatever. And so we assume that other people are also thinking those things. I think, again, we'll talk about communication, but I do think it's important to verbalize. It's not easy at all. I'm not good at this at all. Like, especially when it comes to like finances and stuff like that. I'm notoriously like, I keep finances like completely away from my relationships because I don't like to. I think I hold on to this feeling of wanting to be a provider that when I cannot provide, I don't communicate it. You know what I mean? I just find a way. So it's kind of like those types of things where it's like you can be, because I'm judging myself for like not necessarily like having all I need to have in order at that moment. I'm almost assuming that my partner, whoever I'm dating, is like also thinking those things. Meanwhile, they probably are not. And I could be spending that time thinking about, okay, how do I compensate for that? If I'm not able to do this in this moment, what can I do? What are other ways that I can show up? Things like that. So I think the best thing to do here would be to tell your person how you're feeling. Tell them that you do want to commit to it. Tell them that you do love them and all of these things and you don't want to lose them, but this is how you're feeling. And let them tell you what they need from you.
I don't know if tell them you love them, but like, well, you are dating. Yeah, you guys are just dating. I'm dating, but like,
well, I care for you, right? So that they don't feel like it's a situation of like you not wanting to be there or whatever. And then just ask them like, what do you need from me? And like figure out if you can provide those things. And then if you can't, be honest about that as well, because maybe it's a situation of like,
see where they're at, and then like kind of inform like where you go from there, from that. Like, just again, this thing about communicating, literally man. Like,
it's hard though.
You can only get more perspective by asking the other person who's actually in it, which is a lot harder said than done.
It's very hard.
It's very, very hard. Still trying very much.
Same.
But yeah, I would say just literally just give yourself some grace again. Give yourself some grace, give yourself some time. Allow yourself to know that you are deserving of love. Like, love, it does not come at a price or a cost, or like, oh, you can't be depressed and in love. Like, well, that's again things I used to tell myself. Like, literally, depression and love, I at multiple times have wanted to end relationships because of how down in the dumps I felt. And I feel like that is really just your inner saboteur, really. Because like,
come on, RuPaul.
Yeah, come on, RuPaul Charles. Sorry, don't sue us.
We can't say RuPaul.
No, it's for inner saboteur.
He didn't invent the word inner saboteur. I also think have the courage to also walk away from things if you cannot pour into them personally.
Yeah, true.
This is a hard lesson that I've just had to learn.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to also be brave enough to say I
do this right
can't.
now. Yeah.
It takes a lot of admission of like maybe something that you are lacking, because it's not to say like sometimes you're not actually lacking something, because you might be, and that could change in the future or whatever. You should also have the courage to walk away from something so that that person doesn't end up as a victim of your
Collateral damage.
as collateral damage of the fact that you are not all there at the moment. So I think there's a couple of things that you can take out from like what we've said, and hopefully that's helpful. But just be gracious with yourself, because you know our expectations aren't always the same as other people's expectations. Yeah. Last one.
Last card. It's a long one.
It's long.
A bit. Okay. Life updates. I'm big single for the first time since 13. Although it's been 3 years since my last serious date, it feels good at 27 to find myself. It's lonely but empowering. Big business for what's next. Not big business. Big blessings for what's next.
Let me see this. Hold on, let me read it.
It's just they just said they've been single for the first time. Like for the first time at length in a long time is what I'm getting from it.
Yeah.
Because from the ages of 13 till now, at least since the last 3 years, they've been in consistent relationships. So that's 13 till
27.
24.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 24.
13 to 24. I'm pretty sure you grew up in Lagos. Not in Lagos life. Because of that 13, I know you grew up in not even Lagos, but like Nigeria in general, or like maybe just an African country, who knows. But I do get that.
I will give you a pat on the back for 3 years single, because I'm realizing it's really not easy to be single.
Oh, Oinda cannot be single.
Why would you say something like that on camera?
Single. You can't be single. I don't think you can. I think you can, but I don't think you have consistently been single.
Tell me why this hoe is calling me out on my show.
Calling me out?
Well,
calling me out, bitch.
Okay. Anyway.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it because I feel like you could even speak to that.
It's not easy to be single.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I've always felt this way about myself, that like I had everything I needed to be by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have never felt, and I don't think I will ever feel legitimately like dependent on somebody else. Yeah. So I don't think it's that.
I don't think it's like,
I think it becomes a cycle though of like, if you always just have somebody, even if it's not like you're dating somebody like seriously, like even if it's like a casual situation or whatever it is, there is a certain level of okay, but it's always there type of thing. And so that becomes like a learned behavior that it gets harder to be like, okay, well, it doesn't have to be. And like, okay, how do I completely eliminate that? Mm-hmm. And I don't think that I've had to do that. I was in a relationship for a very long time, and then I wasn't. And technically, since then, which was in 2020, I haven't been in an actual relationship, like a defined relationship. So I could bullshit and be like, oh, well, I have been single, but I have not though, because I've always had somebody, or I've always been in.
There's always this like a companionship.
I've always been in a connection to different degrees, to varying degrees of like seriousness or like intimacy or whatever. But it's always consistent. So like I'll give you a pat on the back for 3 years single, because that shit is not easy. You seem very content by yourself. You said it's empowering but lonely. I think that's fine.
I think we need to be comfortable with a little bit of
loneliness. Yeah.
I don't think loneliness is the worst thing. I think you know something, it can be bad, but I don't think
it can be bad, but it's not always bad.
It's not always bad. Yeah. It's like, and then you can start finding companionship in like a lot of different other ways, like in the ways that you want to, by the way. Like you don't need to date until you need to date, but it's like, okay, like if you're, you know, particularly pointing at like your friendships, like your treating your friendships like a bit romantically, like, you know, just like romanticizing things that you guys do together. So there, I feel like there's a way to fulfill that like type of loneliness as well.
Yeah. But also, I will say, and I think that, and again, because you've been by yourself for 3 years, I think that it's possible that you've explored relationships and things like that.
Already,
I want people to be more truthful about the fact that it's even in the same way where people will be like, oh, you have to love yourself before somebody else will love you. And it's like, okay, yeah, I can love myself, yeah. And it's not that that's bad advice, but let's not gaslight people by making it seem like people wanting romantic love is like,
oh my god, like,
you know what I mean? Like, it's possible to want that as well. Yeah.
Like, I feel like people
like it's shallow, exactly.
It's not shallow. I really do understand the 13 thing though, because as someone who is also in a relationship,
I don't count all of those, you know.
No, I don't count all of those, but they count. Do you know why they count?
They count
in the way that you were at least aware of like a relationship. For
sure. For sure.
And like,
it's such learned behavior.
Yeah, and then being in a relationship when you're 13 and at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, you're in a relationship. It's like, even if it's various relationships, it's still, you know, a line of relationships. And I just started like, because I did go through a phase of, oh, this doesn't matter, this doesn't matter, this doesn't matter. Like, I don't even, like, count them. But recently, I started actually kind of, like, revisiting my past relationships because I have been revisiting, like, my own, like, traumas. And a lot of them came from those earlier on relationships. A lot of the insecurities.
Because they're so formative.
Yeah, they're formative. Like, you're a teenager. And the way that everything else is happening to you while you're a teenager, like, that love that you feel like you're feeling at the time is super heightened and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, like, congrats and like
congrats to you. Congrats to you. It's not easy and you're doing it. And I feel like when someone decides to come along, you're gonna be so prepared to receive that.
And you're gonna be so like in your own, and like you're just gonna like know exactly what you like want and like need.
I'm trying to get like you, who I'm trying to get like you, and we're the same age, so wish me luck, darling.
But yeah, those are the ones that we wanted to talk about today.
Yeah. Jinx.
Well,
what was I gonna say?
Like, I was gonna say, well, that was kind of like an abrupt, like, short ending, but like, yeah, just literally.
It wasn't abrupt.
It wasn't abrupt, but like, yeah. What do we do at the end of the show?
Girl, we just finished reading these. Anyway, let me help out here with the segue. Let me help out here with the segue. Couple things. I know we've already talked about Side A Live. I will keep this brief. I think that the whole point was for you guys to be able to come and feel like you were in a no judgment type of space. So we are really, really happy that you guys shared all of these with us.
Like intimacy. Yeah. Like intimacy in you guys' words and in your vulnerability, like, means a lot to us.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a vulnerable space. Yeah. So it means a lot that you guys are feeding that energy right back. Yeah. You know?
And we would love to answer like more of you guys' questions and problems and dilemmas and whatever the case might be. So if you didn't know already, we have an anonymous Google form for you guys to submit questions and anything else you want to submit.
Yeah, and like, let's pose this the way that we posed it on the show. It can be dilemmas. It can be your side A. It could be literally testimonies, just like how you're feeling right now. Anything that you just kind of like want to get off your chest,
want to get some outside perspective on. We would love to have that kind of relationship with you guys. So drop those below. The link is right there in the description.
Yeah.
And here's the season 2. I didn't think we would be kicking season 2 off this way specifically, but as of last week, it seemed like this was the right way to kick it off. So we're gonna have a really, really good season for you guys.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be packed. It's gonna be.
We might sprinkle in a little guest here or there. So
I just said guest packed and she said sprinkled.
Is it gonna be packed? It's sprinkled now,
but it's sprinkled.
But yeah, some of your faves will be on this season because we know that was one thing that you guys are asking for season 1. Also, guests, are they gonna be guests? Are they gonna be guests?
Yeah, we're gonna do one episode that's like a fan favorites kind of episode. So if you guys have anyone that you want to see on the show, send it over. Like I'll open up like a poll or like a box or something for you guys to like drop some names. Maybe that'll be later on.
Because maybe there's people you guys know that we don't know. But
that
yeah,
you think that we could really like, you know, vibe above. But yeah, I'll put out like when I do, you'll know when I do. So I'll talk about it later in the season. But yes.
Thank you guys so much.
I'm so excited to be back. Like I think I'm a lot more excited for season 2 than I was for season 1.
Yeah, because it's like more established now what the vibes are. But yeah, we'll see you guys on our next episode. And until then, be safe, love yourselves, love each other, spread vibes wherever you go. And yeah, like we said, subscribe everywhere that there is to subscribe. Follow us on socials. And we will be back in no time. Mwah. Bye.
Love you.